Tonight on CTV News at 6, fed up in West Edmonton.
We just keep inside.
Health fears after days of smoke exposure from a landfill fire.
In a landfill, you would be releasing toxins from things like plastics that are burning. You also worry about heavy metals.
City political parties sticking around as a new councillor goes independent.
There won't be any kind of outside voices that will be influencing my decisions moving forward.
And overnight light show, the aurora dancing in the Alberta sky.
What a beautiful color. A little bit of green mixed in, but not too much movement. So pretty though.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. People living near a landfill fire burning just west of Edmonton are fed up with the smoke and smell and fearful for their health. The fire started several days ago, and as Gates Guarin reports, the company that owns the landfill isn't talking.
Alfie Baoy has been keeping himself and his kids inside their Seacourt area home all week.
We just keep inside the kids and me also having an asthma, so we just keep inside. But I know it's not really good to stay outside, including that smell and
That smell is coming from the GFL landfill just across the highway. A fire that started there Sunday is still burning, and people in the area want it put out.
If the smell is not good, we're staying inside because I don't want the kids complain too, and then they get sick and all that.
After having quite a good summer, and then all of a sudden the smoke, because it was quite bad. The smell is so disturbing.
Parkland County says air quality is a, quote, paramount concern, and all efforts are being made to minimize the spread of smoke. It says specialized industrial firefighting contractors have been brought in, but the fire is expected to burn for some time. People we spoke with say they want the fire to be put out quickly, but are unsure where to go for help.
I don't know who to complain, but like I said, I just been keeping my kids and myself also inside.
Pediatric respirologist Dr. Ann Hicks says toxins in the air could have serious short and long-term effects.
In a landfill, you would be releasing toxins from things like plastics that are burning. And you also worry about heavy metals. So things like mercury and lead and stuff that would absolutely be potentially in paint or old, you can imagine old housing materials.
Hicks says staying inside and limiting exposure to smoke is the best thing you can do. Alberta's environment minister says the province monitors cases like these across the province.
When we do have incidents we need to look into, our department does that in coordination with other departments, often with forestry and parks and public safety.
Parkland County says the cause of the fire is under investigation, and the landfill will remain closed until the fire is put out. Gates Guarin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton Fire Rescue Services is asking people to refrain from calling 911 to report smoke from the landfill fire. The president of the union representing thousands of healthcare workers poised to strike says despite days of mediation, the two sides remain far apart. Last week, healthcare workers represented by the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees voted overwhelmingly in favor of a strike. They include licensed practical nurses, healthcare aides, and more. AUPE's president says the province does not recognize how essential these workers are. They could go on strike as early as next week.
We do have essential services agreements that actually ensure the life and limb of Albertans, the safety of Albertans. But at the end of the day, we will see an impact in terms of already a healthcare system that's under huge stress, where we're seeing long wait times for absolutely everything. And it's going to impact Albertans.
The union can serve strike notice Monday if a deal is not reached. The province says it trusts both sides will come to a fair and reasonable agreement. Another union representing healthcare workers says it has the support of Albertans as it returns to the bargaining table with AHS.
Right behind me, you can see wall to wall, floor to ceiling, are hundreds of messages of support from Albertans.
The Health Sciences Association of Alberta says it has received thousands of supportive notes after launching its Put Yourself in Their Shoes campaign earlier this month. Mediation between HSAA and AHS resumed today. The union represents 22,000 healthcare workers, from paramedics to laboratory technologists and more. Back in September, 60% of members rejected a tentative deal. Since then, the union has been asking for more bargaining to happen. Union President Mike Parker was unable unable to say how close or far apart the two sides are.
Have to be very cautious right now because as we walk into formal mediation, we have agreed to embargo the conversation. This allows the two sides to have fruitful discussions. But I can tell you this, our members have been loud and clear that what they need in all of this is the strength of a collective agreement that retains the workers we have and recruits more.
The province says it respects the collective bargaining process and remains committed to reaching a fair and reasonable agreement that supports both healthcare professionals and Alberta taxpayers. Edmonton police are asking the public for dashcam footage from a crash that left a woman with life-threatening injuries. It happened around 2:30 Sunday afternoon at 167th Ave and 97th Street. Police say the 31-year-old woman was turning left onto 167th Ave when she was hit by another driver going through the intersection. The crash caused her car to hit another vehicle and a power box. Police believe the other driver was speeding. Any witnesses or those with dashcam footage of the crash are asked to contact either police or Crime Stoppers. New City Councillor Reid Clark is leaving the Better Edmonton Party to operate as an independent this term. The party says it respects his decision and will stick around until the next election to act as an opposition voice. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has more on what this new municipal political landscape could look like.
3 weeks after the election and before its first proper meeting, City Council's makeup is shifting. It's the same group of 13 people, but Councillor Reid Clark says he's leaving the Better Edmonton Party, a move he says gives clarity to his supporters.
I'm going to be their voice and represent them, and there won't be any kind of outside voices that'll be influencing my decisions moving forward.
Clark's move leaves incumbent Karen Principe and newcomer Mike Elliott as the only councillors affiliated with a party. During the campaign, former party leader Tim Cardinal said the plan was never to whip votes in chambers, pledging the party would go dormant after the election. Better Edmonton's new board chair says the party is very much awake.
We've regrouped, and we've had a couple directors' meetings.
Cam Johnson respects Councillor Clark's decision to leave the party. His focus is what comes next. Johnson wants to build a party brand strong enough to prevent a vote split on the centre-right 4 years from now.
We expect to have, a bit of a shadow council. We'll have comments for sure about some of the decisions that come down.
I don't blame Better Edmonton for sticking around.
This political advisor says the election was successful for Better Edmonton's first try, winning 3 races and capturing second place in 7 others. He says acting like an official opposition will take dedication.
Do they have the resources to have, dedicated people who can analyze and respond, and are there 2 representatives, their 2 councillors going to actually be their spokespeople.
Mike Elliott tells CTV he hasn't made a decision on sticking with Better Edmonton yet, and Karen Principe did not reply to our request. Meanwhile, a leader with PACE, Edmonton's other political party, tells CTV it also plans to stay active and critique council as Alberta's experiment with city parties enters a new phase. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some Alberta municipalities want the province to take over collection of the education portion of property taxes. That's one resolution being made at the Alberta Municipalities Convention and Trade Show, which kicked off in Calgary today. Currently, municipalities must gather education property taxes on behalf of the provincial government.
I think it creates confusion amongst everyone that we serve when they're seeing the tax bill every year and not understanding that it's actually not all going to the municipal services they expect, because they're still paying that bill to the city of Edmonton, and then we're taking a portion of that and having to send it right back to the provincial government. That's actually an unnecessary step.
The UCP government says it's considering what role a new Alberta tax collection agency could play in shifting tax collection burden. The Hardesty Fitness and Leisure Centre is closed tonight because of a fire in the sauna. The city says staff noticed the fire just after 3 yesterday afternoon. 30 people needed to be evacuated. The city says it took fire crews about half an hour to put the fire out. It says the fire was a mechanical or electrical malfunction. The centre will be closed while repairs are made. A busy road in West Edmonton is back open to 4 lanes of traffic. The 95th Ave renewal project is being put on hold for the winter. The city says this will help traffic move safely and efficiently for the snowy months. Phase 2 will resume in the spring. It will concentrate on the south side of 95th Ave between 163rd and 170th Streets. Work that's been done includes new sidewalks, a new shared pathway, and stormwater drainage infrastructure. The Edmonton Oilers begin a 7-game Eastern Conference road trip tonight in Philadelphia. Forward Trent Frederick is in the lineup, sporting a new shiner.
And here it is, front and center. Olivier is the toughest you get in the NHL with some uppercuts here.
I probably got the worst of that one, and they were just, sticking up for me, being good teammates, and, it was just good we got the win.
During Monday's game, Frederick dropped the gloves with Columbus heavyweight Matthew Olivier. Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch had previously called out Frederick, saying he needs to bring more offense and physicality to his game. Knobloch says Zach Hyman will make his season debut at some point during this road trip. Edmonton was treated to vibrant red and green northern lights last night. Although beautiful, they can create problems with satellites, communications, and even the power grid. Amanda Anderson explains why.
Streaks of bright green and red lit up the night sky Tuesday, a display of the aurora borealis, unlike anything some have seen before.
These ones weren't really moving the same way, but a beautiful color. A little bit of green mixed in, but not too much movement. So pretty, though.
The show, the result of the sun releasing 2 bursts of electrically charged particles, which then hit the Earth's magnetic field.
Just the sheer volume, the energy that basically was absorbed by the Earth's atmospheric gases, that gave us that red that we saw. The green is a little bit lower down in the Earth's atmosphere.
Many people shared photos, captivated by the abundance of red in the sky.
Heard all about it, saw so many pictures, and I went outside and there were none.
Frank Florian says there's a reason some may not have seen the red in all its glory.
You look up there and you don't see anything, but a camera, the sensors on your camera are very sensitive to the broad spectrum of light, and they'll be able to pick up that red, which the human eye can't.
Northern lights may be nice to look at, but the combination of electrically charged particles and the magnetic field can wreak havoc here on Earth.
In 1989, I believe, in March, there was a huge auroral display that also blew out one of the generators for Quebec Hydro, costing billions of dollars to repair. So it affects everything from phone transmission. So if your cell phones were acting up yesterday, you may have that may have been associated with this event as well.
EPCOR tells CTV News it hasn't had any issues so far, but solar storms can affect equipment or cause voltage fluctuations. That's why it increases monitoring and takes proactive steps to protect the grid when geomagnetic activity is detected. Florian says the sun goes through an 11-year solar cycle, which right now is at its max.
So in about 6 years' time, you may not see much of anything of the aurora, maybe a few nights here and there, but not as much as we see right now.
The northern lights are expected to return.
I'm going to get my phone out tonight instead and try and look at them.
Tonight's display predicted to be even more energetic and chaotic than last. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
I had to glance at the calendar when I heard where Josh was going to be tonight. Josh, Toy Mountain already.
Yeah, the 10th annual, which, wow. I mean, there's another already for you. How has it been 10 years? We'll come back to the Northern Lights story in a second. I know that, yes, they are supposed to be spectacular tonight. You're not going to see them because of the clouds, but we'll deal with that later. We've got my old friend, Sonny Graywall, with Trail Appliances. How are you, Sonny?
Good, Josh. How you doing?
I'm spectacular. I just said I can't believe it's been 10 years. But over the last 9 years, we've raised a lot of money and brought in a lot of toys for BGC, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Edmonton area.
Yeah, it's just over 30,000 toys donated, right, and over $97,000 in cash donated. That's huge.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, we're stepping it up this year. That money total has grown every year. The toys number has grown every year. 3,000 toys. And have you heard the financial goal for this year?
25,000.
Yeah, which is ambitious, but I think we can do it. And to help start things off in a big way, there's something going on down here at Trail South this Saturday.
Yeah, we're here to help kickstart this toy drive by you bring in a toy. Enter to win $1,000 in travel vouchers. You can't get any better than that.
No, so come see Sonny and the rest of the crew down here at Trail Appliances South on Saturday between 11 and 4. Bring a new unwrapped gift for BGC Bigs. and you are immediately entered to win a $1,000 travel voucher. And then right through till December 19th, you could stop by any Trail Appliances or Sentinel Storage location and drop off a new unwrapped gift for BGC Bigs, or go online to our website, make a cash donation, and help get us to that $25,000 goal. Sonny, Trail has been a huge supporter of this from day one. Why are you guys still doing this? I mean, I know you guys love the community, but 10 years is impressive.
It is, but you know, with 50 years in business, this is just a small way that we can give back. Being partnered with Whirlpool to do this beautiful setup here, it's amazing that we can do something so small that has a large impact on these families. So
yeah, and as we heard from Leah with BGC Bigs earlier, it does have a huge impact on the kids that they help every year. Sonny, thank you to Trail as well. We'll talk more about the Northern Lights and the fact you're going to be clouded out tonight, and the cool down on the way for Friday and the weekend, all later in the newscast.
All right, thank you, Josh. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, resilience, pride, and gratitude. A Ukrainian visit from a choir, dancers, and a soldier who's fought against Russia.
We have only one our native land, and we need to keep this land, because if Russia will want, we can go on forever.
Coming up Thursday on Your Morning, why Gen Z is embracing location-sharing technology while others hide from it. Plus, tips to take advantage of the warm weather and prepare for fall, as well as the season ahead.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A Ukrainian restaurant in Edmonton hosted visitors from Ukraine today for a special musical meal. Among them was a Ukrainian military veteran. CTV's Merrick DeCash reports.
Visitors from Ukraine are in Edmonton for a Western Canada tour full of song and dance.
Well, Ukrainians sing every time, when they're sad, when they're happy. So this is like a part of Ukrainian tradition to sing.
Members of the Gurdon Theatre were performing in the kitchen of Donya, a Ukrainian restaurant in North Edmonton that employs more than 24 newcomers from Ukraine.
They have very hard life here to come from Ukraine because of the war, and came here and have new job, new life, and that's why we want to sing for them.
Among the crowd at Donya was Anatoly Verasenko. Verasenko is also visiting from Ukraine. Through a translator, the former soldier described that today is about Ukrainian pride during tough times on the battlefield.
Because we need to keep our country. I completely agree with this man. So we need to, we have only one our native land, and we need to keep this land, because if Russia will want, we can go on forever.
Verasenko applied to join the Ukrainian military in 2014. The year after, he was fighting near Donetsk in eastern Ukraine. He reapplied to join when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, but was denied because of his age.
I think Russia never believes that Ukraine can fighting so long time with them. They probably even can realize it.
Now Verasenko focuses on helping soldiers live a normal life.
He started helping soldiers who get some injuries in army and rehabilitation for them.
Verasenko is in Edmonton visiting his daughter. As for the Gurdon Theatre, they'll be performing at the Jubilee Auditorium on November 28th. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
A man in Edmonton who loves building puzzles doesn't have enough room for his latest creation.
This puzzle is hanging up in the Panama City airport. I wasn't there, but I saw it on a picture, and so when I saw it, I said, "Well, that's the challenge. Let's try to do that one."
When you're building a puzzle, every piece has its place. Rick O'Donnell's problem is that he has no place for his finished piece. He started working on this 42,000-piece puzzle about 2.5 years ago. He says it took him roughly 800 hours to complete. It was built in 7 sections. Each bag had 6,000 pieces.
I did it in sections on the ping pong table. And so while I'm watching the Oilers game or face football or whatever on TV, I was, putzing away at putting together puzzles and sorting out pieces, and, eventually it just comes together.
He says this around-the-world puzzle is by far the largest he's ever completed. The finished piece is more than 7 meters long, so unlike his other puzzles, he has nowhere to display it. He's hoping a school or library will take it off his hands and mount it on a wall. Still ahead, shockwaves in the music industry.
As a graduate of a music industry program, this is fascinating to me. As an artist, this is absolutely insane to me.
An AI-generated song tops a Billboard chart. Plus, Marmot Basin delays opening day. Stay with us.
They are going to get a ton of snow up in Marmot Basin, though, over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours, so that'll help there. We may see a little bit of snow tomorrow night as well as some cooler air rolls in for Friday and the weekend. We'll talk more about all that from Trail Appliances South, the kickoff to CTV's Toy Mountain, right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Marmot Basin in Jasper is postponing its opening day. The ski hill was originally hoping to open this Friday. Marmot says warmer temperatures have forced it to pause snowmaking operations. It hopes to resume Friday. While Marmot hasn't given an official new opening date, it says it's aiming for sometime next week. And Josh, you mentioned earlier you have some good news for them and some possibly similar weather on the way for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to see heavy snow, but we do have a snowfall warning in effect for Jasper and areas along the Icefields Parkway. Some spots could see upwards of 30 centimeters of snow by the end of the day tomorrow. I think a lot of that's going to fall through the first half of the day. We'll show you that on Futurecast in a moment. So good news in that regard. Unfortunate news, as we were mentioning earlier in the newscast, for anybody that wanted to look skyward and see the northern lights. They were pretty spectacular last night. There will be an active display tonight. I just think the clouds are going to block that out for us in and around Edmonton. We'll show you the satellite map in a second. There's what it looks like outside right now, though, through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right over its free. We're at 4 degrees in Edmonton right now after hitting 8 for a daytime high earlier today. Started the day for the first time in a couple of days. Temperatures slipped below 0. There hasn't been a lot of scraping lately in the mornings of windshields, but that was the case this morning. Get used to that. There's more of that on the way. -4 this morning, -7. The average low for this time of year, and 2 degrees the average high for this time of year. We'll be back in that territory Friday and the weekend. 6 degrees to the south in Red Deer, 3 and 4 in Grand Prairie and Fort McMurray, and as we mentioned here in Edmonton, 8 degrees. Lethbridge made it to 14 today. It was 11 in Medicine Hat. Close to 20 tomorrow in southern Alberta. We'll see double-digit temperatures as well into the Red Deer region. I don't think the double-digit temperatures get to Edmonton. There's your cloud cover sliding through much of central and western Alberta. Already starting to see a little bit of snow there in through the northwest. And we'll actually have to watch overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning for some patchy freezing rain potentially in through the Peace Country. You can see by 8 a.m. most of the snow is going to be from high level east towards Fort McMurray. And then there's that heavier snow from around Jasper all the way south, almost all the way to Banff. Here in Edmonton, it looks like it'll be a dry day tomorrow and one last warm day up to about 7 or 8 for a daytime high out ahead of that front. Now, initially, you'll notice on the leading edge of that precipitation, there's a chance of some showers, and in the afternoon, temperatures will be above 0, so that won't be freezing rain. But those showers in some spots will change over to some heavier wet snow. Could see a couple centimeters worth there for areas west of Edmonton and north of Edmonton. Watch how that breaks down, though, as it rolls through the Edmonton area. So I think there's a better chance that we get some precipitation than no precipitation, but it really doesn't look all that likely that we'll have a ton of snow on the ground when we wake up Friday morning. We'll probably get some flurries or some light snow Thursday night, and then skies will be clearing through the course of the day Friday, and Yeah, I mean, if we wake up to any snow on the ground at all here in the Edmonton area, it is likely pretty insignificant accumulations. Friday will be the start of the cool down, though. Watch tomorrow. There's that big warm-up across the south. There's the cooler air that drops in starting Friday from the north, and that will stick around through the weekend and right through next week. So tomorrow might be the last day that we see above 5 degrees for a daytime high for a while. 4 degrees right now in Edmonton. It's 1 to the south of Red Deer, 0 and -1 in Grand Prairie and Fort McMurray. Temperatures overnight tonight here in Edmonton should drop to about -2 and then 7 or 8 with some increasing cloud tomorrow afternoon. Wind stays pretty light through most of the day, but I think late in the day as that front approaches, we'll start to see it gust a little bit, and then tomorrow evening, you get a chance of some flurries or wet snow. Gusty through the day Friday, some clearing in the afternoon. We will see some sunny breaks, but temperatures drop to 2 degrees for daytime highs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then some more flurries or light snow Monday. Don't forget, CTV's Toy Mountain is celebrating its 10th anniversary. It's presented by Trail Appliances. You can stop by Trail Appliances South on Saturday. Bring a new unwrapped gift for Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Edmonton area, BGC Bigs. And you could win a $1,000 travel voucher just for stopping by here and dropping off that gift for CTV's Toy Mountain. You can also go online to our website, ctvedmonton.ca. You can make a cash donation there. Or if you don't have time to go out and pick up a gift and you want to donate a gift as opposed to cash, you can go online to our website, find the Toy Mountain page, and there's a link with a wish list there where you can pick out the toys and you can actually buy them for the kids right there on our website. So another great year down here at Trail Appliances, and a huge thanks to them as our presenting sponsor. Jeff.
Absolutely. Thanks, Josh. A new song atop the Billboard Top 100 country charts is raising fears within the recording industry. ABC's Laura Spencer has the story.
This morning, a music industry first.
You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
The AI-generated country hit Walk My Walk by Breaking Rust, hitting #1 on a Billboard chart. The song, released less than a month ago, already streamed more than 3 million times, beating out actual humans for the top spot on Billboard's country digital song sales chart. The success getting mixed reactions.
It's made by a robot. It's an AI-generated song, and I'm not sure how to feel about that.
As a graduate of a music industry program, this is fascinating to me. As an artist, this is absolutely insane to me.
Billboard acknowledging Breaking Rust is an AI act, saying it's one of at least 6 to chart in the past few months alone.
Let go, let God, give him control.
Like Zanaya Monet, the AI R&B and gospel crooner created by songwriter Talisha Nikki Jones, amassing more than 44 million streams since her debut.
I think ultimately this feels almost like an experiment to see just how far something like this can go and what happens in the future and in other disciplines of art as well.
This just one of many examples of AI making its way into art.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
AI generated actress Tilly Norwood drawing swift backlash with her debut.
I'm built on everything that came before me.
Actress Emily Blunt telling Variety's Clayton Davis.
That's an AI.
Yes, that is a...
Good Lord. We're screwed. That is really, really scary. Come on, agencies. Don't do that.
AI artists won't require all the things that a real human artist will require. And once companies start looking about and considering bottom lines, I think that's when, artists should rightly be concerned about it.
Coming up, Canada's next major project announcement.
There's not a single project that he has launched that was not already in the making or approved before he took office.
What's in it for Alberta? And
it just shows how this is truly a manufactured hoax by the Democrat Party.
Epstein emails what the deceased sex offender had to say about Donald Trump. Stay with us.
Help us build a mountain of toys. Donate today at ctvedmonton.ca. Help us build a mountain of toys. Donate today at ctvedmonton.ca.
Well, we won't hear officially until tomorrow. We already have a sense of what Mark Carney will unveil in the second phase of new nation-building projects. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Silism's LNG is charting a new course for a better future.
A promotional video explains the Silism's mobile LNG facility, one of the major projects expected to be added to the list by the Prime Minister in Prince Rupert Thursday.
And has North America's shortest marine route to growing Asian markets.
In addition to Silism's in BC, CTV News has learned the Prime Minister is expected to announce a hydroelectric development project in Iqaluit, the Sisson Mine project in New Brunswick, and the Crawford Nickel Mine project in Northern Ontario.
50% of global nickel comes from Indonesia. The Chinese own 75% of those mines. We have to disrupt their stranglehold of the supply chain.
Mark Carney has faced criticism for picking projects already in various stages of development.
There's not a single project that he has launched that was not already in the making or approved before he took office.
In 2017, Dominic LeBlanc, still a minister now, said construction on the Sisson mine should start the next year.
I think that North America and Canada benefit strategically.
That mine has faced more than a decade of environmental approvals and delays. The defense minister today asked about the U.S.'s nearly $21 million contribution to it.
Our Defense Department is cooperating with our Department of Natural Resources in order to help, first of all, identify the extent of critical minerals in Canada.
These types of developments can carry dire and very expensive long-term liabilities. Short-term needs are very real. In the Canadian economy, long-term thinking also is needed.
As for the status of an east-west pipeline pushed by Alberta, no word that it will be on tomorrow's list. Danielle Smith has said she's in daily negotiations with Ottawa, hopeful that a memorandum of understanding will be ready by Sunday's Grey Cup or shortly after. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The White House is lashing out after Democrats released emails today from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The emails mentioned Donald Trump multiple times, alleging he knew of Epstein's criminal activities. With more, here's Joy Malvin in Washington.
The private emails are straight from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein discussing his relationship with Donald Trump. In 2011, 3 years after Epstein pleaded guilty to sex crimes involving a minor in Florida, he wrote to his now convicted partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, "I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim, spent hours at my house with him. He was never once mentioned, police chief, etc." Maxwell responded, "I've been thinking about that." That victim, Republicans say, was Virginia Giuffre, who said she never witnessed wrongdoing by Trump. In her memoir, she described being recruited from Trump's Mar-a-Lago club by Ghislaine Maxwell and trafficked to rich and powerful men, including the former Prince Andrew. In 2019, while President Trump was running for re-election, Epstein wrote author Michael Wolff, taking issue with Trump's claim that he kicked Epstein out of his club, alleging Trump knew about Epstein's illegal behavior. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Maxwell, who's reportedly applying for clemency, told the president's lawyer in July she never saw Trump at Epstein's home.
"I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way."
The White House accuses Democrats of trying to smear the president by releasing selective emails.
It just shows how this is truly a manufactured hoax by the Democrat Party.
The Trump administration has formally closed the Epstein case, but Democrats hope releasing these emails can force a vote in the Republican-controlled House and get all of the files released. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
An Ontario couple denied boarding by Air Transat is sharing their cautionary tale. It began with a recording of an interaction with airline staff and ended with a judicial ruling. CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports on the crucial video evidence.
We want to go home, that's all. On March 31st, 2024, Madhu Haridas and his wife arrived at Punta Cana International Airport to check in for their Air Transat flight home to Toronto. The couple were finishing their first vacation away as husband and wife.
We had fun except the
last day.
The last day?
Yeah.
Not so fun.
Not so fun.
That's because when they arrived at the airport, this Air Transat check-in supervisor refused to check them in unless the couple erased video they had taken of their customer service experience.
I need to delete all features on all video for check-in.
When they first arrived at the airport, they asked an Air Transat agent where they should line up. Harry Dass's wife was traveling with an Indian passport and a Canadian work permit.
He first yelled and told to stand behind a red line. So there was a red marker on the floor. So when he yelled, immediately we stood behind.
The couple say they asked the agent to stop shouting. It was during that exchange he first refused to check them in.
When he allowed everyone else to check in, that's when I started taking videos.
Then came the ultimatum.
Okay. Delete all information with meeting your cell phone.
It is a form of extortion or blackmailing, essentially.
Never allowed to check in, they had to purchase expensive same-day tickets with another airline. They took their case to small claims court. In a written decision, an Ontario judge found that Air Transat's conduct was effectively egregious. The judge applauded the couple for taking video, which assisted him in reaching his decision.
There is no right for the airline or any airline employee to privacy that would deprive you of documenting how they are treating you.
As a passenger, you should know your rights before you travel.
Air Transat has declined to comment on the court's ruling. The small claims court ruling resulted in Air Transat having to pay $7,000 to the couple, who also say their payment included an email from the airline congratulating them on their victory. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
Cross-border tensions didn't stop an annual gift-giving tradition. Every year, Nova Scotia gifts Boston its prized Christmas tree. This giant white spruce was cut down in Lunenburg County. The tree is a thank you to the American city for its help in the aftermath of the Halifax explosion that killed nearly 1,800 people in December 1917. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, a new edition of the Crime Tapes. A look back at the 2002 investigation of Nick Lissick, the banker who seemed to have it all. An Edmonton bank manager named Nick Lissick seemed to have it all back in 2002. The moneylender ran a BMO branch in West Edmonton, while also running a scam and stealing millions of dollars. There were muscle cars, mini mansions, and multiple women. CTV's David Owasik looks back on a story stacked with interest on what we call the crime tapes.
In the late summer of 2002, 51-year-old bank manager Nicholas Lissick was living a life most could only dream of. Rare and expensive cars, more than a half-dozen girlfriends, and a seemingly endless supply of money. Millions upon millions of dollars. The problem was, none of it was really his. When he got caught, the spoils of his scam were made public. A story we've held on to on our crime tapes. Old locks were cut off, others had to be jimmied, as the full measure of one man's scam was opened up for all to see. Impressive properties in the city, a lakefront cabin, and a seemingly endless array of expensive automobiles. All of it seized and assessed by a receiver working for the Bank of Montreal. It came after that bank's auditors discovered Nick Lissick's multi-million-dollar bank loan fraud. While their branch manager spent some of the stolen money on himself, as well as on his family, he also lavished gifts, homes, and even businesses on a half-dozen paid sex workers he was seeing.
Hi, Amanda?
Yeah, I don't want to be videotaped or make a comment. I am not talking to the media. If you want, you can call my lawyer.
The bank's efforts to retrieve as much of the missing money as was possible included an auction that saw vehicles of all types, including Lissick's prized muscle cars like a rare Hemi Cuda, going on the auction block to the highest bidder.
The more we can generate, of course, the more money goes back to our client and in turn to replace funds that are missing from the bank.
I was looking at the Mopars, but they're going to go fairly expensive. Beautiful cars, though.
As the investigation into Lissick continued, the public found out how he was able to continue his scheme for a half-dozen years, and his reasoning for doing it in the first place. All of the material goods and properties linked to Lissick amounted to overwhelming evidence, giving the former bank manager no choice but to make a deal.
And instead of going to trial, that's exactly what Nick Lissick did. He pleaded out and gave an accounting of where all that money went. That's coming up in our conclusion tomorrow on the Crime Tapes.
Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar holding steady near 71 cents U.S. Oil was down $2.55, closing the day at $58.49 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained more than $97 on the day. The TSX and Dow Jones both made gains, closing the day up 418 points and 326 points. The Alberta government is launching 2 new programs aimed at reducing methane emissions. The province will spend $29 million to help energy companies lower their methane emissions and develop new technologies to keep reducing emissions. The new methane reduction deployment program will provide up to $1 million for each project, covering up to 50% of a company's costs. A new shingle recycling facility has officially opened east of Calgary. North Star Clean Technologies is unique because it takes old roof shingles and reprocesses them into aggregate, fiberglass, limestone, and asphalt. The company has a 5-year contract with the City of Calgary to divert shingles from landfills. The facility in Rocky View County can process up to 80,000 tons annually. That's about 6% of Canada's total shingle waste.
This is an absolute first across North America. This is the nation's first commercial facility dedicated to reprocessing asphalt shingles and breaking them into the component parts.
All of the output from North Star will be used by an asphalt company. Still ahead, breaking into the global beauty industry.
I have my own brand that sells Sephora and even carry in my own hometown. It's pretty surreal.
2 Albertans are putting a spotlight on our province.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV. Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. Experience the elegance of the all-new Acura ADX.
Two Albertans have broken into the global fashion and beauty industry. As CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports, they're both making sure the province is woven into their work.
Introducing his makeup in the mall where he spent most weekends as a teen is a full-circle moment for Hung Van Gogh.
Calgary's home for me. I brought up here and have my own brand that sells Sephora and even carry in my own hometown. It's pretty surreal. I know it sounds silly, I'm crying, but it is emotional to me.
It's a long way from where he started.
My family and I, we escaped Vietnam to refugee camp, and then we came here after.
His career began at a Calgary hair salon before he switched to makeup, becoming coveted by A-listers and now launching his own line across Canada and the United States.
Never dreamed to work with celebrity. I have my own brand.
An inspiring story for Calgarians who lined up to meet him.
I've always wanted to be a celebrity makeup artist, so we know it's possible.
Always happy to see a Calgarian make it big.
Another Calgarian making it big in fashion is Awar Odiang. The model was featured in September's U.S. Vogue, along with her family at a photo shoot in Kananaskis.
It is the most difficult publication in the world to get into, so for her to have a single girl story and with her family is unbelievable.
Having Canada being put on the map by Vogue has been so cool, and I'm glad that me and my family as immigrants, as refugees, were able to represent Canada.
Odiang was a toddler when her family came to Canada as refugees from South Sudan in 2002. Years later, she was folding clothes at Old Navy when she was approached to model, and her career has taken off.
I've been able to take care of my family, myself, my friends.
Whether showcasing high fashion in the Canadian Rockies or naming a lipstick after Calgary's area code, both Awar and Hung are proud to have the spotlight on Alberta and hope their stories encourage others.
There's no limitation to your dreams.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
That is our show for this evening. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca, or you can find us on the CTV channel on YouTube.